Okay, so now that we have a game plan in place to solve equations, let's take a look at some harder examples. And again, just not forget the game plan, right? So first thing we want to do is we want to spend some time simplifying both sides as much as possible. Do all your distributions, combine like terms, and then once we're done with that, we're usually playing the golden rule of adding and subtracting to both sides. That will move your x's to the left or to the right, and non-x's or non-variable terms to the left or right. Again, you decide. And then we usually end with some sort of golden rule of multiplication division. All right, and that usually gets the variable by itself, and we have our solution. So there's the game plan, so let's use it. So as we can see, a lot going on in all these equations. So in the first one, this left-hand side needs to be simplified. 5 is as simple as it can get, so that's nice, but this side is not. So we're going to perform some distributions. So if we distribute the 3, we get a 6x minus 3. Here, not only doubling everything up, distributing a 2, but we're also distributing a minus sign. So all the signs change behind it. So we get a minus 2x and plus a 6 equals a 5. So there's my distributions. I can combine like terms, right? There's 6x, and I'm taking away 2x. That combines up to 4x. And then a minus 3 and a plus 6 combines up to 3. All right? And so this side is now as simple as I can make it. And this side is as simple as I can make it. So we're now ready to go do the addition and subtraction golden rule. So here's the term with x in it. So we really just need to clear out that plus 3. So we do that by subtracting 3. Do a reverse. If I do that to both sides, we get that 4x equals to 2. And then we're now a multiplication division away. If I take both sides and divide by 4, right, the 4's divide out. And simplifying that fraction, we're left with the solution x equals a half. So again, the idea is if we plug a half in there, we get 5 equals 5. We get a true statement. But I'm going to focus on solving equations. So good, there's our first round. The second one, a lot more going on. The left-hand side needs to be simplified, and the right-hand side needs to be simplified. So we got a lot of work before we can play any golden rules. So distributing over here, we're distributing a negative 2. So that's going to double everything up and change the signs. So we get a negative 6x minus 10, and then plus 4. On this side, we're going to distribute the 4, and then we're going to distribute the minus, which changes signs behind it. Combining like terms over here, these two terms are like. So we have a negative 6x minus 6. Over here we have a 4x, take away 3x, that combines up to x. And then a minus 4 and a minus 7, well, that combines up to a minus 11. So this side is now as simple as I can make it, and this side as simple as we can make it. There's no like terms. So now we're going to play our golden rule of addition and subtraction. Again, we normally like to put our x's on the left-hand side, so we need to eliminate this x from over here, so we'll subtract it. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the same thing to the other. Well, I'm collecting my x terms to the left, we can collect our non-terms to the right. So this minus 6 we have to reverse, so I'll do that by adding 6 to both sides. Don't forget your equal sign. The 6's cancel out. These two terms combine up to 7x. Over here, these guys subtract each other out. Minus 11 and plus 6, well, that combines to a minus 5. And so we now are one step away. We're a division away. To reverse this multiplication, I'll divide by negative 7. And whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. The negative 7's cancel out or divide out. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. And so we're left with our answer of 5/7. So again, there's our solution. So if we were to plug this back in for all the x's, this side would be equal to that side. All right, I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I want to just concentrate on showing you these the game plan to solve these crazy equations, get x by itself. So hopefully it's starting to make sense. Just a lot of work to do before we start playing golden rules. So next one, again, the left-hand side needs to be simplified and the right-hand side needs to be simplified. So we begin this journey by doing a distribution. So if we distribute the 3, we get a 6 minus 3x. Over here, we're distributing a minus sign. So when I distribute it, all the signs change behind it. And then over here, not only are we tripling everything up by distributing the 3, but we're also subtracting. So signs are also going to change. So we get a negative 9x and a plus 12. All right, so there's my distribution. And then combining like terms, these two terms are like. They combine up to a negative 8x. And then 6 minus 2, well, that combines up to a positive 4. On the other side, these two terms are like. They'll combine up to a negative 7x. And then we have plus 12. So we've now simplified both sides as much as we can go. There's no like terms. So now we start to move things around. Again, collecting x's to the left, I want to get rid of this minus 7x over here. So we'll do that by adding 7x. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. This plus 4, I want to get rid of it over here. So if we're adding 4, to reverse that, we subtract 4. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So those cancel out. Negative 8x plus 7x is a negative x. Those cancel out. 12 minus 4 leaves us with a positive 8. And so we're now a multiplication division away. To get this x by itself, we can divide both sides by negative 1. And a negative divided by negative is a positive, so we're positive x. And a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So our solution in this case is negative 8. So we're off to the races and we're doing well. Number 4 looks a little scary because I see a fraction there. But we get really lucky here because if we just play the simplification rule, if we just distribute, look what happens. So we're going to distribute on this side to start simplifying. Right, let me make sure I did that right. And then over here, if we distribute a half, well, half of 8 is 4, and then half of 12 is 6. That's right. So we got really lucky just in the normal process of simplification. The fraction went away by itself. So thank goodness. All right. Combining like terms over here, 3x take away 4x. Well, that's a negative x. And then plus 2 and 4x plus 6. So we basically have simplified both sides as much as we can. So again, I like to collect my x's over to the left. So I'm going to get rid of the 4x on that side. So I'll subtract it. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. This plus 2, I want to get rid of it over here, so we'll subtract 2. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Don't forget your equal sign. 2's divide out, or cancel out, excuse me. And minus x minus 4x is a minus 5x. The 4x's cancel out. 6 minus 2 leaves us with 4. So we're now officially a division away. Right? So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5. We're left with x, and we have the fraction negative 4/5. So there's our game plan. Again, remember what you want to do is simplify both sides as much as possible. And then once you finish with that, you can start playing your addition subtraction golden rule, moving things around. And then you're usually a multiplication division away of getting x by itself. So practice makes perfect. Make sure you're diving into that. We'll take a look at a harder set of equations with a bunch of more fractions and more decimals, and we'll figure out how to do that in the next video.